Welcome to the podcast. Y'all ask, what I'ma talk about with y'all ass? Everything from Nostradamus, Lil Pump, all the way down to Donald Trump. But black issues will be always at the forefront. Hoodies, I know that's just what y'all want. Black life, black love, all of the above. It's King Rashidi hoodies, ice toner gloves. I'm ready, it's Rise God Team. Rest in peace to the God Queens. Hey.
Yo, peace, what's going on? I want to welcome you all back to another dope-ass episode of Hoodies, the podcast. I am your host, King Rashidi, and let's go ahead and just step in it, man. Yo, real quick, first and foremost, this is something that's already come and gone already, but I want to give like a warm shout out to all the parents and the members of the Skill Youth Chess Club. The Skill Youth Chess Club the anniversary is come and gone already. It was November 14th. We had the observance on the 16th. It was also when I aired the Skill Youth Chess Club documentary. If you go back a couple podcasts, I had mentioned that it was done. So it came and went, had a few issues in terms of how I would view it. I had a projector. Some of you may have seen if you was on my Instagram or whatever. But that didn't quite work out sonically, but we still made it pop off. Man, that whole experience, just making that documentary, was a journey all in itself, right? And for those of you who know me, you know what I'm talking about. So, but yeah, it popped off. It went well. It was a success. Everybody was digging it. And also, I had also mentioned a couple podcasts back that I would show the documentary exclusively on Trendy TV. Unfortunately, that didn't work out because Trendy TV ended up folding. Yeah, they folded. Trendy TV is no longer. I talked to the CEO personally, on the phone, and he was telling me about how the movie makers, like the content creators, was sending all of their viewers, if you will, all of their fans or whatever, to either Amazon or to YouTube. So that was the issue, getting subscribers, viewership, stuff like that. And I got to give it to the brother. He held on for as long as he could. He was putting his own money up, and it just was what it was. So we talked, and he told me he would bring it back under a new model and would let me know. You know, at least at that time, he said he would let me know in a couple weeks, but we haven't heard anything. So I'm under the impression that didn't work out either. So shout out to my man Nick Patrick. I appreciate you for what you did, Black Fist Up, and I'm sure you're not done. The Skill Youth Chess Club documentary is now on YouTube. Check it out. Leave a comment, like it, dislike it. Just show us some love, man. That's a perfect segue to bring up my new project. My new project will also be a documentary, non-chess club related. This one's going to be simply about love. It's going to be about love. Love is one of them ill things, man. One of those ill things that I know when I love someone, and I know when I am loved. You know what I'm saying? I also know the difference between loving someone and being in love with someone. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes down to like putting it into words, putting love into words, I just cannot explain it. I don't have the vocabulary. I just can't explain what love is. And I still have yet to meet someone who does. The closest person was Will Smith. He had a brief, it was a dope video about love, and it was a very interesting concept, and I gotta admit that was part of the reason why I wanted to explore. So yeah, I want to do a documentary on black love. The name of it is still subject to change, but what I have so far is Black Love, a conceptual dialogue about. That's what I got so far in terms of a title. I also thought of Love in Black, I'm not sure. I don't know. The title, that's the least of my worries right now. I just want to, you know what I mean? I'm still trying to figure out how I want to start laying some groundwork. Um, and not only will it be about love, it'll get to like the meat of it. You know what I mean? It'll be more or less like falling in love with someone without necessarily knowing who you are. You understand? It's like it raises a good question. How do we fall in love with someone or someone falls in love with us when we don't even necessarily know who we are yet? It's to dive into that. And also, how are we as items, couples, if you will, dealing with each other in that space? You know what I'm saying? Because speaking for myself, I mean, all of us, we're still figuring out who we are. For those of you who consider yourself to be aware or woke or whatever, that's a journey, man. That's a journey. Trying to unlearn a lot of things we was told as kids, a lot of things we bought into, you know. But anyway, so I was saying that to say that this whole thing is a journey. So once again, it's about falling in love with someone else when you don't necessarily know who you are, and then how we as couples or, you know, we're in relationships as men in relationships with women, and we don't necessarily know who we are, and how we as a couple are dealing with that, you know, in that space. It'll also touch on how, you know, there's some people who've taken the time to know them, to get to know themselves, but and all the while maintaining a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I want to hear from elders on down. Can't do a documentary without elders. I already know a lot of them are gonna be trust Jesus, baby, trust Jesus along the way. Trust him. You gotta trust him. Trust Jesus. So I'm prepared for that. I'm gonna come up with a line of questioning so that I can go deeper than that. I ain't after people's religion. I don't care what you believe. I just want to go deeper than that. I need something more than just trust Jesus. That's my answer. Trust Jesus. It just doesn't do it for me. I'm thinking of having the love doc done by February. Why February? February because a lot of people, even though Valentine's Day is fake, a lot of people rock with Valentine's Day. Now I know it might be a stretch trying to get people here in the shop to view this thing on Valentine's Day. Who wants to spend their February 14th? You know, especially if they're used to doing it annually. You know, so me personally, it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter if I think that Valentine's Day is just to guilt people into doing something for their loved ones because they haven't been doing it regularly. You understand? But that has nothing to do with nothing. The reality is most people do things with loved ones on that day. So, but somewhere around there, it'll be done in February because I said it will be. Before we get into this thing, you already know what I love to do. I want to give a shout out to our elders, man. Word. Let's give a shout out to our elders, and you already know why. I ain't even got to say nothing. You already know why. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to black folk everywhere. Black women, men, boys, girls, everybody. Black fixed up. Word. Let's do it. Check it. What would you think of a people? What would you think of a people? What would you think of a people who implode with every distraction? That with just a difference of opinion, difference of a realization, that those individuals are shunned by their own kind. Coon. Sellout. Uncle Tom. Did I say buck dance already? Porch nigga. All kinds of shit. And then sometimes members within the community of this people, they throw in that person's new contract, which is confusing to me. Will say things like, oh, that nigga's only saying that because he got that new contract. Me personally, that sound like a bunch of motherfucking jealousy. I don't care about what another person makes, but that's me. See, this isn't about me, right? But what would you think of that people? What would you think of a people that would blatantly disrespect one of their own on live television? Not that that matters, but what would you think of that people? And tell that individual that a white Jewish dude is blacker than him. All because the brother had a slight difference of opinion. What would you think of that people? And by the way, that's some disrespectful shit. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That's some disrespectful shit. And even worse, the ones who's supposed to know better, you so-called woke motherfuckers, y'all co-sign that type of behavior. You co-sign it by sharing it Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and other, it's all kinds of sites. Snapchat, Tumblr. I ain't familiar with those sites. Sharing the disrespect. Sharing it. All because you motherfucker don't necessarily agree with everything you're saying, or you don't agree with everything they saying. Remember when Kanye said something to the effect that, what'd he say? Slavery was a choice? Remember Daz from the Dog Pound? He made some video, I remember seeing the video saying he's gonna send some folk to go see Kanye for saying that. I thought that was the dumbest shit I ever heard before in my life. And it was at that very moment that I knew that a dude like Daz wasn't about that life. Not saying that I am. I ain't got goons to send to go see folk. But for motherfuckers that do, why would you send some goons to go see Kanye West because of a comment that he made? And we all know what dudes be meaning when they say, yo, I'm going to send somebody to go see somebody. Come on, man. Y'all ever wonder why George Zimmerman is still around? Y'all know George Zimmerman has been signing bags of Skittles and selling them for profit. Y'all know that he auctioned off supposedly the gun that he used to kill little brother Trayvon. Y'all know he's trying to bring the family up, Trayvon Martin's parents, trying to bring them up on charges, I guess for slandering his name, something to that effect. I didn't really get too deep into the article. I don't need to. I don't know if George Zimmerman is walking around with security or anything like that. But I wouldn't be surprised if he hasn't even received one threat from the black community. I really wouldn't. And I guess I just gave up that people I'm talking about, right? That'll send somebody to go see one of their own, but you won't send nobody to... Come on. I said I wasn't keeping y'all long, right? It's December 16th, 2019. It's a few weeks left in this month, a few weeks left in the year, the decade, right? It'll be the start of a new decade, right? But real quick, here's a little something for the wokes and the sleeps, right? The sleeps are the people who are bought into... The sleeps are the people who bought into the holidays and the sleeps are the ones who don't question shit. They rock with it because it feels good. And I get it. Here's the thing. For those of you who call yourselves woke or whatever the case is, you gotta know they ain't trying to hear that shit. Take it from me. They ain't trying to hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I used to be one of those types of people who would be trying to school the sleeps on what Christmas really means, or Thanksgiving, or what Easter really means. You know what I'm saying? All that shit. But don't waste your breath. Don't even waste your breath. In fact, I'm so far past that now when religious folk, because it all stems from religion. Let's just keep it real. But when religious folk say things like Merry Christmas or whatever, I used to be one of them people who would take a minute and start telling them what it really means and schooling them like that. And then sometimes we get a little frustrated because they wasn't trying to hear that shit. So it's to the point now to where when someone says it, although I'm not with it, I don't celebrate Christmas or no shit like that, but I at least now I appreciate the gesture. It's pretty much all they can do. That's the best they can do. That's just where they are. Because remember, it was one point in time, but not all of us. Some of us was fortunate enough to be raised like that. I wasn't. I wasn't raised like that. I didn't become aware of a lot of things until I decided to pick up a book and bounce these ideas off like minds and watch lectures and so on and so forth. This was later on in life. So there was one point in time that I myself had accepted Jesus as my Lord and Savior. In fact, that was probably part of the reason why I came at people somewhat aggressive sometimes once I had figured out that it wasn't, it wasn't real. So now I just say thanks. I appreciate it because I realize it's coming from a good place. I appreciate the gesture. But see, some of you woke folk, you're starting to sound just like them. Y'all going hard and getting worked up and shit just like they are. Only thing is, they're preaching Jesus and you're preaching Kemet. Real shit. They preaching Jesus, they preaching Muhammad, you're preaching Kemet. Or Hebrew Israelite. Or whatever the fuck it is you rock with. I don't even think woke really applies to me anymore. And that's not to say that I'm better than anybody, because I'm not. There's levels to this woke shit. You know what I mean? There's levels to it. It's when you first starting to open your eyes, and I guess it's the equivalent of when like so-called Christians are born again. They can't wait to tell everybody the fucking good news. You know? It's the same thing with woke folk. The minute they wake up and they become what they feel is enlightenment, they can't wait to start talking about it. You know? So I get it. I made a few people feel uncomfortable. I did. But now I've transcended that. I'm somewhere else with this shit. And it's hard to even put that into words, but I'm so past arguing back and forth on Twitter. I don't argue with my thumbs. I'm so far past debating religion, and I decided I'm not doing that no more. It's stressful, and it gets us nowhere. Because at the end of the day, while your woke ass is giving it to that believer, and it's the barbershop. And listen, I've seen some conversations get seriously heated. I've been the one heated, and it goes nowhere. And think about it. One person's talking Jesus, the other person's talking Allah, or the other person's talking woke, Kemet, whomever, whatever, God body, you name it, right? And at the end of the day, shit, ain't neither one of them put us in a better position economically or socially here in this country. Anywhere, in fact. There may be small pockets of us, all right, but for the most part, where's the unity at? I mean, I get with each belief, there's there's something that resonates with all of us. You understand? I get that. I get it. It enlightens us all. We're enlightened. It helps to enrich those beliefs. Help us enrich our lives. You understand? But until it works for us and helps us to dismantle the system of white supremacy, or there's just so many things that these so-called beliefs ain't doing for us. If we're keeping it a stack, there's a whole lot of shit that we need as a people that these beliefs that we got ain't doing a goddamn thing. Just be careful going back and forth with so-and-so about this, that, and the third, because at the end of the day, we both look stupid. We both look stupid. You're arguing from your perspective. He's arguing from his. You got your books. He got his books. Be careful, woke folk. You sounding just like a Christian. Okay? And listen, I'm not saying don't debate. Hold on. Looks like we need a new light, eh? Yeah, new light, because it's still not 100%. But anyway, I'm be closing this out anyway. But listen, with woke folk not giving religious folk the business, at least I'm not, because that's just where they are. Now, unless they come in here and say, I can't stand black people, then I'm going to have to assume that this is my brother, and that's just where he is. And he's got a right to be where he is, just like I got a right to be where I am. So that's my message to woke folk, saying be easy on the sleeps. And religious folk, I'm sorry if it offends you by me calling you sleep. That's just how I identify with y'all. You know what I mean? Don't take it personal. I'm just using one to make the difference between the two. You got those who are enlightened and those who are going along with organized religion. And if you're going along with organized religion, it is my belief that you are asleep to a lot of what it really means. So look into it and see for yourself. But anyway, I'm just saying, look, if you want to, you still good money with me as long as you love black folk. You understand? But also, my message to you, sleep, so you religious folk. My message to y'all is, while woke folks should stop badgering y'all about the real meaning of the holidays, I wish y'all would stop trying to recruit folk. I know Christmas, a Christmas sermon is brewing and you want to get people there. New Year's and you want to get people in the church to bring in the new year. I get it. But stop trying to recruit folk. Get it all the time. I'll be in an Uber or something like that. And it comes at me different ways, but one most recently I was talking to an older woman, in fact, and I felt it coming. Around this time of year, I always feel it coming. I can tell by the music that's being played in the Uber. I can tell. Listen, I could smell a Christian a mile away. I can already tell it's on its way. The line of questioning, and they mean well. I can always tell. It always comes in the form of, do you like to read? Yeah, I like to read. Do you know Jesus? Nah, I don't. Would you like to know? Nah, I'm good. I'm not interested anymore. Oh, okay. Some of them good and they'll leave it alone. And then you got some who's like, are you a man of faith? What do you mean? Do you believe in God? I am God. Huh. Well, my spirit tell me that you gonna come into some money next year. My spirit tells me that you gonna come into some money next year. You just keep working hard, honey. Thank you for sharing. You get some religious folk who don't quit. And you can tell them, nah, I'm not really with that. And then their line of questioning is kind of weird. Then it's like, oh, did something happen? Did something happen in your life? Something happened at the church? Nah. Well, what happened? Come on, bud. Tell me. Hey, I just decided one day to do some research and look deeper in this thing. And there was one dude who mentioned Erica Badu or something. I don't know what the fuck that was about. Older cat. I don't know. Probably listens to her music and I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. I don't care. So at the same time, listen, black folk, you know what I mean? You religious folk, fall back. You woke folk, fall back, man. Let's just respect where each other is. All of us have chosen to rock with something that resonates with our souls. It just is what it is, and each of us may disagree. You know, please, I'll tell someone who's saying, well, God did this for me, and I'll just say, brother, it's you. You did that. And nope, they don't want to hear. That's just where they are. You're not going to change them. They ain't going to change you.
She tastes good with some fava beans. Touch the bubble, she don't make a scene. She the drug, no promethazine. Shit, you bad for my self-esteem. Cause they're thinking the shit. Baby, I know the lights stay lit. When I'm not up in your area in the night, you feel sick. Work's being done here. When I'm done here, with my head still in the zone, I ain't hitting dumb gears. I come dead, come here. I am the water girl, I'm formless. I am the universe, I'm on this. Word. Bless that, bring your backside around there. Pound the boom boom with no fear. Brown skin, pink insides. Cream and blood, pink insides. All but the earth, souls on the fly. Souls on fire. She feel good for the struggle. Queen get it. Shit gets ill, you the queen vetted. Back to them fava beans. Baby taste whimsical. Brown skin, yummy clean. Yeah, the gut is in the you. She tastes good like some mathematics. I suck at math, but I keep taking cracks at it. Dig deep, craftmatic. Downstairs and up in the attic. Get it? I'm an addict. You know what that is? I crave you. Bones be jonesing. Add it up, what's X we choose? Lounging in our own space, cuddle nookie. Beat the brakes off the box from hoodie. Meditate in the hoodie, takes the box out my footy. Feet tits side order, reinvent tide water. Black man, black woman, is divine order. The blamer for not mixing divine slaughter.
I was going to hit therapy again like I normally do, but I won't this time. What I will say is, as a people, we are a people that needs to grasp a better hold on our emotions. I meditate that every day. We need a better hold, a better grasp on our emotions. I admit, I hate saying it, we too sensitive. We're so triggered. Religion is a trigger, boy. Whew. Politics is somewhat of a trigger too for us. You know, the way some of our people view Barack, Donald Trump, or Hillary, Kamala Harris. There are a lot of black folk starting to get really, really emotional about that. But my point is, we need to get a better hold on our emotions. And we can get a better hold on our emotions by revamping our perceptions of them. Train ourselves to not react. That's it, to not react. Maybe react, but at least in a more constructive way, if you will. I think Neely Fuller's got that 100% correct. You know, we need to focus on doing the most constructive shit. And being emotional is just not going to get that. I believe we are a people, like I said, let me put it all together. I believe that we are a people who needs to grasp a better hold on our emotions. And we can do that by revamping our perceptions of those emotions so that they don't affect us the same. And then thus being in control of our actions. I truly believe that we are that people. Right now we are insane. I believe that grasping our emotions will get us out of that. You know what I'm saying? That's my jewel. Shout out to my granddaughter, Serenity Rose. I had the pleasure of seeing her last month. You know what I mean? She's a tiny little thing. You know what I mean? She was just days old, like 10 days old. You know what I'm saying? So you can't really do much but just make eyes, make googly eyes, hold a pacifier. Can't really hold a bottle or anything because her mother's breastfeeding. So it was real dope watching my second born, act as a father, stepping into his fatherly role. You know what I mean? Thought that was pretty dope. And I'm proud of him. I'm proud of both of them, both he and his lady Gab, and it's Gabriella, right? And yeah, shout out to my grandson too, who's 4 years old, whom I haven't seen in a minute. And there's a reason for that. I won't go into that, but I will say that it's still an opportunity for all parties involved to grow and make things better than what they are. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So shout out to my grandson, Azai. Shout out to my granddaughter, Serenity. Shout out to all my sons, Dion, Darren, and Dominic. You know what I mean? So yeah, I love y'all, man. Take care of yourselves. And check out the Skill Youth Chess Club documentary on YouTube. Like it. Comment on it. Show it some love, man. You know what I'm saying? And look out in February for the Love Doc. And that might be just what I call it. The Love Documentary. That's dope. I like that. That might be it. Word. Y'all take care of yourselves, man. Until then, Uhuru. I'm King Rashidi, and this is Hoodies. Hey!
Hello. To the podcast. What do we talk about? Who?
Always the forefront. Hoodies.
I'm ready. God King. God Queen.
Hello. Hello.